Hi guys, welcome back. So I've filmed this intro a few times. For some reason, just a few days off makes you a little bit nervous and a bit less YouTube savvy. I don't know what's the word here, but today we're going to create the first one of these matryoshkas. So like I said, I wanted to do the 12 matryoshkas of Christmas, and so you can see here that behind the scenes I've been working hard in creating these designs, and then you'll see kind of that I had to ink them up, and then I've uploaded them into the computer and tweaked them a little bit to create these PDFs. So the one we're going to work on today is the largest one, and this one will be available on my blog, and then the rest of them will be available as a PDF in the Etsy shop. And throughout the few videos we're going to show a few different ways that you can get these onto your watercolor paper. So today we are just going to do what I did in a video a little while ago. I'm going to tape it to my window and use the window as a light box. Now, if you download it from the internet, you can use your iPad or your computer as your light box and just lightly, trace on the screen. And I have done that before, but if you have a heavy hand, I would not recommend it because you don't want to, damage your computer. So this is a really easy and simple way that you can just tape it to your window. You can see there that the window is not super clean, but it only takes a couple of minutes, and it's just, I've found a really simple way to get that onto your computer. Now obviously you don't have to use these printouts, you can just paint along and design your own, but I thought these would be a really nice idea to practice some watercolor skills without having to go into the full range of the artwork. So you can trace the outline, and then you can just enjoy painting and practicing shading and glazing and color palettes and all kinds of things within the doll. And so these are actually dedicated to our Russians. We have kind of sisters who are sort of adopted family, and they are like real life matryoshkas. They sort of come and go, and one will pop up and then two others, or it's really nice. So this is kind of dedicated to them, and it's just really lovely to be able to create some artwork for them, or dedicated to them. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'll walk you through some of this, and then some of it will be self-explanatory. But you can see here that I am using this tiny palette. So if you're wondering about any of the colors, this palette, I'll link it below. I'll link both these palette swatches below. So I have swatched the colors. There will be links under those videos for all of the colors and where you can get them, or you can ask me in the comments, and I'm happy to put those links there for you. So you can see here I am using sort of quite a neutral palette, but then we've got this really bright azalea, this pop of the neon pink. So I wanted this painting to be really cheerful, but also quite soft, so that would play into the neutrals, and then this pink will bring in like the cheerful aspect. So you can use Opera Rose. This is the azalea from Nibs Pens and Inks, or Nibs Watercolors, and I will try and link this shop below as well. So the first colors that I started out with were the Côte d'Azur, or was it? I think I started out with the Torridon Sandstone from Wallace & Seymour, and then the Cinnabrese from Wallace & Seymour in the middle of the emblem in, on the belly there. And then now we are using a little bit of, so I'm mixing into the azalea a little bit of the Porphyry Violet. Now you can mix in a little bit of a violet earth, a little bit of a brown, just to give a little bit of shadow, and you can see there that I'm kind of just using it on one side to soften out or deepen out that neon colour and create a little bit of movement in the painting. And then here I'm using the Thulite from Colours of the Own range, and I was really excited to find this week that she is bringing this colour back. So it is one of my favourites, and you'll see in the close-ups why. The beautiful granules and the kind of way that it moves on the paper. So it's not actual granulation, but it is actual granules of paint, and I absolutely love it. So instead of this, you can use like Potter's Pink. You could use a Potter's Pink and Shell Pink mix. That's a really nice one, and it creates a really similar colour. And then I start to go in here and put in some shading in the emblem, but I realized that it's not quite dry enough, so I stop that and go onto something else. So one of the things here is that you don't want to let the colours bleed into each other. Like for example here with the hair, I don't want that to bleed into the outer edge, so I want to wait till one part dries before I am working on bringing in a new colour here. So for the hair I just used French Ochre, Daniel Smith French Ochre. And traditionally Matryoshkas are either brown hair and blue eyes, but I wanted to bring something different and sort of create a softer colour palette. So I have changed sort of and really red lips as well. So we'll do some different and more traditional versions in other paintings, but today I just wanted to change that colour a little bit. And you can see there that for the trees, so we're kind of making a hill of, like a sloping hill of evergreens, but more of like a either sunrise shot or something. So I have made them more shadowy, and so I used the Shimmer Eye and Glimmer from Wallace and Seymour, but you can use like a hematite or like the granulating black, is it Mars Black, with a bit of pearl white to create a similar effect. Okay, so you can see there that I have used the Phantom Fire, the Rivervale Phantom Fire for the hill behind and I mixed it with a little bit of the azalea to bring that into to sort of make the whole picture come together. But you can use any kind, like a pearl white mixed with a little bit of an orange or a peach and a pink to create a similar thing as well, or like Daniel Smith Interference Copper. Okay, so now we're going to work on the cheeks. So I'm using Shell Pink and softening out the edges. So I am, wanting that to blend seamlessly into the rest of the face. And one of the reasons I wanted to do these is because there's so many good things that you're learning here with proportion, just laying down the colour, and also the faces. So this is a really nice way to practice faces and to also practice like So for example, this one I decided to do a more nude makeup palette. So, you know, she's got the very soft cheeks, the very soft lip colour, and a little bit of sparkle in the eyeshadow. And you'll see in some of the other ones that we do how differently the colour palette for the face comes out. You know, whether if you do the deeper red lips, or if you wanted to maybe bring in some like purple eyeshadows and do like a more smoky eye. So there's lots of different variety here, and ways that you can kind of just play with your colours and really enjoy the learning process. Okay, so for the soft shadow underneath, I am wetting the surface more, beyond where I want to place the watercolor, so that the transition will be a soft, nice one. So I, wet a larger area that I'm going to use, and then I put the what's it called, Daniel Smith Moonstone on there, and then I added a little bit of the Phantom Fire and the Azalea again to make that shine. Okay, so now we are working on drawing in the face. So you can see I'm using this Copic brush pen. This is what I used to outline the PDFs, but you can see here that I turn the paper around. So I start with the upper lid and the lashes, and then I go in with the eye, the outer rims of the eyeball and the highlights. So I'm doing little circles for the highlights, and then the pupil, and then I start with the bottom, and then I finish it off with the bottom of the eye and the bottom lashes. And because I'm trying to get it done in one fluid motion, that's why I'm turning the paper to the best angle, so that I feel like I can do that really easily. And then I do the other eye in the same way. So it does help with the symmetry if you kind of take the same steps. So start with the upper lid and the lashes, and then continue down the eye in the same way. So now I am pulling out a fountain pen, and I'm just outlining some of the areas here. So one of the things that I would suggest is that you don't always have to have every outline to be the same. It doesn't have, you can, so you'll see here in the outline under the chin, I've left a little bit that I didn't outline. And I think in certain situations that adds to the illustrative quality of the artwork. Okay, so I have decided, I wasn't sure kind of what to do there, and then I decided to use some gold paint, and you could use the Winsor & Newton gold ink. This is actually Dawn from Nibs Watercolours, and I have just created this little design around the top of her hair there, and you can see it's sort of like a small curve, a larger curve, a small curve, a larger curve, and then the kind of three water droplets with a larger one and two smaller ones at the side. So I think one of the hardest things is the actual design. So I take my time, like when I get stuck, I just give it a minute or two and just have a think about what I want to do next and the direction I want it to go in. So I was umming and ahhing here about putting an outline around, which we do end up doing, and it actually brings the whole thing together really nicely. But here you can see I wanted something extra in the shawl portion of the painting, so I'm just doing my go-to. I like to do this a lot, and it's just basically one curve and then another curve, and then I add a little droplet in between where they meet. So once I had done this part, I was thinking whether or not this would be the end, or should I do a shadow around it, or should I work on the body more, and I wasn't exactly sure how to finish it off. But we end up using some of the glitter sort of watercolors. So I use Dawn from Nibs Pens and Inks, and I used the Salacia. And again, you could use any, golds, rose golds, the Winsor & Newton gold ink, anything like that that's sparkly will really bring the whole thing together. So I just do the same thing that I did last time, and I want the motion to be more fluid. So like this is sped up, and you can see that I'm still taking my time here. So I'm trying to be very careful, but not overly, not tense. You want your arm to be relaxed, and you just want to try and do it in, as much of one movement as you can, and that should really help. And again, you can practice even this part when you're tracing it, and try and just very lightly. So this is all very light as well with the brush. So I am resting my hand on the desk and then just sort of using the brush really lightly. And so that's something that you can practice, beforehand if you're having trouble with that. So you can see again, I'm rotating this to where it feels comfortable for me to do that fluid line. And then at some point here, I do a little bit of a mistake. I think it might be here outside the line. And you don't need to panic. It's very easy. You just go back in with water while it is wet, and you'll see me do it here. And then you just sort of brush that off. What I do is I'm trying to dry the paper a little bit with my finger, just go over it a couple of times and kind of get as much of that water out or absorbed from the paper as you can, so that it doesn't leave a little bubble. But that may not be an issue if you're using a thicker paper. I'm actually using the what's it called, the Somerset Heavyweight, or this is the lightweight version of the Somerset paper that I really love from Hollanders. So I had a piece of the lightweight, and I just thought it would work really well in this instance, but it does buckle a little bit more, which I think I can actually just iron the wrong side of this painting and it should flatten out, so I'm not worried about that at all. I am just you know, just enjoying it. And I do apologise, I wish I had gotten these up earlier so that you could use them for Christmas cards and things. I think they'd be really nice as gift tags as well, but I am going to use, so I've decided that this card will be the front of sort of a 12 days of Christmas insert for my December daily. So all of the Matryoshkas will be in there, and I will just kind of use it to kind of talk about how and why we did the 12 days and how that went. And to be honest, I think that Monday sort of everything came to a little bit of a halt, so I ended up pretty much giving everyone their 12 days, the rest of, you know, the I think 5 days, and we're still doing one daily, but and also like the video stopped. I'm just showing you here as well that you could use something like this as a traveler's notebook insert or as an art insert. So you could also put some ribbon like in an eyelet through there and create a little notebook for yourself or someone else. But yeah, I think Monday everything came to a little bit of a halt. I needed to slow everything down a little bit, so I still have videos coming. The Galaxy one is filmed. I need to voice over it. It's a longer one like this one. So what I actually worked out was, so on Monday I think would have been day 21 and I had done 18 videos I think, but I had actually, if I counted, so my goal was to do 10 minutes a day, and I had actually done about 23 minutes worth of a 10-minute video, if that 23 days of a 10-minute video, if that makes sense. So I was feeling pretty good. I thought I'm kind of ahead of myself, so I just slowed down a little bit and sort of relaxed a little bit. But having said that, I have been working hard behind the scenes and I do have plenty of videos for you coming up. And I also thought it would be nice to upload some today and tomorrow. So I think today is, and I probably should have started with this, but Merry Christmas or Merry Christmas Eve. I think that Australia's clocking over to Christmas, so I know that some of you are from Australia and I really love that. So Merry Christmas to you, and to everyone else, Merry Christmas Eve. And I will still be uploading videos today and tomorrow hopefully, because I know that not everyone, you know, I know obviously some people are really busy with Christmas, but not everyone has people at Christmas. So I thought it'd be really nice to upload some videos today and tomorrow. So that way there should be plenty of videos to watch either, you know, today, tomorrow or next week whenever you've got some free time. So I still have to film some of these 12 Matryoshkas of Christmas ones. The Galaxy one is done and will be voiceovered and uploaded sometime today or tomorrow. You can see here we went to Jerry's Artarama, so they had just restocked their Charvan oil paints, and I absolutely love this display. It's my favorite, and I always just love to kind of stand here for a minute and take it all in. So the colors are really beautiful. But what was I saying? I also have some videos for the other channel, so I've been also filming those and I haven't had a chance to voice over those, so hopefully some of those will go up. And next week as well I want to work on some December daily, getting that finished and getting some of those videos up as well, along with my top 2020 favorite watercolors and a few other videos that I have in mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this finds you well. I know this has been such a year for all of us and it's still continuing for so many people, and it's been a really hard time. So I just wanted to send you my best, and I hope that these videos can just be a little bit of respite in such a hard time. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully today, later on today. Okay, bye.